drive to the hotel, motel, whatever you want to call this. We have a private room here, which was only $1 less than a hostel that had bad reviews. Anyways, this is what it is. I walked in, put the key. Allegedly, this says an 8.5, but honestly, it's looking a bit sketch, but nothing in particular. It's just looking like that. But so this is the room, double bed. Interesting. I didn't book that. There's a window. Wow, stellar view. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that tower. Always checking the corners in these rooms. You know why. Check the bathroom. What do we have in here? It has these heating machines. These are always a pain in the ass to use. But, you know, that's just how it is when you travel here. Floor is wet for some reason. We're gonna drop off the stuff. We're gonna annihilate this toilet bowl. Then we'll go for a quick walk and see what's happening around here. Also, quick note, first thing I noticed here, it was easy at the airport to get into the train, to pass immigration. I didn't even talk to anybody, very strange, but anyway. Made it through, made it into the country. Took the train super fast, super cheap, or I think it was cheap, I don't know. I need to relook at the conversion. Then you get out here at KL Central, which is a walk away from where I'm staying. However, I noticed that there's no crosswalks anywhere, everywhere that I've walked thus far. Instead, what it looks like they decided to do is build those escalades and like walking passages over streets. Google Maps and Apple Maps aren't helping at all. Quick update, we have now unleashed demons in the bathroom. It turns out that the toilet bowl is quite flimsy in itself. I mean, the whole thing sort of moves. Nothing is necessarily clean here. You know, look at the vent up there. This window, for obvious reasons, I absolutely need it closed. Thankfully, there's no webbing. If there was, I would be in critical danger. You know, this door won't close. This is what I get for what I paid. Anyway, I don't know what we're going on about. Let's just head out. Let's see what's going on. We're now walking towards Brickfields, Little India, and I don't know if this is just going to come off as racist, but I just really can't tell the difference between the Malaysian people and the Indians, unless I mean, they all just look Indian to me. Unless it's just because I'm in the Indian quarter or what, but I just don't know what the difference is. But I guess we're gonna see now. But I am going to Brickfields, and I mean, we have these buildings like this that are next to other buildings that sort of look like they're falling apart. So there's once again another great disparity. All the restaurants serve the exact same thing. We might find one to eat at, we might not. I don't know. We'll take it as it comes. This India town definitely looks a lot more Indian than the Indian town back home, which kind of makes sense considering where we are geographically. And once more, I mean, maybe this is just why, but everybody around me looks Indian. They're either Indian or they're a white guy like me. We're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep exploring, but right now we'll just assume that they are in fact all Indian. All these shops are selling the same thing. I feel like this is just a reoccurring issue here, that no matter where you go, anywhere in the world, no matter when you go to the little towns, whether it's Chinatown, India town, whatever, they're always just selling the same thing. And it's, I mean, we're gonna pass by here, but next to my hotel, all the places are selling this random stuff at the exact same price that you could get it in Canada. So we're gonna pass by here. Maybe we're gonna find things cheaper, we'll see. But I'm starting to really see how we truly are the same everywhere. I mean, things are just the same everywhere. The street is just one big car park. I mean, there should be 5 lanes here, but it looks like there's only 2. And everybody just keeps on merging into the same 2 lanes. Definitely got the wrong impression about Malaysia. I thought Malaysia was cheap, but the coconut ice cream here that I had in Bangkok was about $1 Canadian. Here it's about $8 Canadian, which is probably even more expensive than Canada. I haven't bought ice cream in Canada since 2016, but I could imagine it's got to be around that, maybe $7, $8. I don't know, maybe I just had the entire wrong idea about this country, but we'll keep searching. We're still early. keep in mind that when you're seeing numbers, about 3 ringgits is 1 Canadian dollar with exchange fee. So whenever you see numbers, that's just the math you have to do. Expected more street food in the Indian Quarter, but it seems that the street is just mostly selling jewels and vegetables, but not really meals. The meals, it looks like you got to go into the restaurant and then you bring it out. See, that's what I mean about the walk path. See the walk path where you go up like that just across the street? That's what I'm talking about. We are now getting chicken biryani, as the man pronounced it, from this place. And the same guy who took my order and who gave me this glass of water just dunked his hand in some rice. And I think it's going to be authentic if that's the case. So that's how you know it's real. Before in that India town, or whatever you want to call it, there was somebody wearing gloves, and at that point I was like, yeah, this is just a big scam. So I came over here a little bit outside of it to have some real Indian. Guy dipped his entire hand in the rice. So it's going to be good. We'll see. I'm not too far from the hotel either, so when it's time to unload demons after consuming this, I'm not that far. It's all calculated. You guys don't understand. This is a game of precision. So let's see what we get here. That same guy right now, he is wrist deep in some scrambled eggs right now with some sort of sauce, fingernails and all, so may God help my soul. And we'll see what we get. Just finished eating at this place behind me over here. This one right here under the bridge, under ABC Bistro Cafe. Honestly, that was solid. There's other ones here too. Similar pricing, it looks like. Probably going to go back. Let me just figure out how to snake through here. I'm like in a motor car. I need to go to the other side. It's a little bit complex, but nonetheless, it was really, really good. Definitely going back. I think it was well worth it. It cost me a total of about $7-ish Canadian, and that's because he gave me a free cabbage thing on the side. He said, try the cabbage, it's free. So I said, okay, only give me a little bit because the portion is massive. Obviously, he gave me an entire massive scoop, and then I even felt bad leaving it. It was good though. It's like this warm cabbage mix, seasoned. It's good. Now we're gonna head back to the hotel, and we're gonna wait about 20 minutes before I completely annihilate the bath. Realistically speaking, and not even exaggerating, I think that might have been the best Indian food I've had in a long time. Although I don't eat Indian food very often, so it's probably like the only time in a long time. Hotel elevator. Likely the most sketch elevator I've been in a while. We are now back in the room after annihilating that Indian food. We will now wait about 15-20 minutes for it to somehow magically pass through my stomach at a rate that cannot be explained. Also, something to note about that Indian food is that in the chicken, they definitely don't clean out the bone too much, or just like chips of the bone and the rice everywhere. I don't know what's going on, but I definitely cut the esophagus the entire way down. But look, we'll figure it out. I'm sweating profusely because of this Indian food and the spice, and because of the Malaysian heat. Therefore, we will attempt to wash our face in this sink, and we'll press on. I don't know what I'm getting at. Let's just cut the video. I know what you're thinking, and I know you need to show, not tell, when you're making these videos, and I just told you about the food and I didn't show myself eating it. It's just too gross. I can't film myself eating food. I know I should really learn to overcome that, but it would make for much better content in all of my videos, but just incapable of doing it right now. I just like how I don't watch people eat, I usually fast forward those parts. I can't film myself doing that. I just find it way too gross. So anyway, we'll keep moving. What an interesting setting for a soccer field. Look around. How cool is that? Is Malaysia any good at soccer? I'm not sure. These guys seem to be pretty good though. This is definitely a league or something. These guys all know how to play. Now that I think about it, a Sunday afternoon soccer game with the boys would go so hard. Or even a Sunday afternoon ball hockey game, anything really. I mean, props to these guys. That's what I mean about crosswalks. There's a sidewalk here. I get here, now what? Now what? I guess I'm gonna hop this ledge here, I guess. But like, now what? You know what I mean? It's very, very strange the way it's built. Very, very, I don't know, very unique. Haven't seen this before. I've seen it in Hong Kong where you can't use Google Maps because of all the escalators, and here it's the same thing because there's no crosswalks. Every time I walk by trees like this one's not that bad. It's a bit thin, but man, do I just duck my head and look down. You just want to stay ignorant. If there is anything, you just stay ignorant. But you duck your head and you absolutely look down. You do not at all look up or look at the trunk or anything of that sort. Head down. Oh, nice. E36 M3. Assuming that's a real M3 and it wasn't just badged that way, but it looked like it was a real one. Back to what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. We're going to cut this clip. Something else that no matter where you are in the world, the graffiti always looks the same. It's always the same art style, no matter where you are in the world. Always the same thing. That same cursive style. Despite it being about 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish p.m. now, and it says it's 35, 36 degrees outdoors, it definitely feels a lot cooler than Thailand. I assume that's maybe because of the humidity, or I'm not quite sure what. I feel like I should have stayed longer in Bangkok. I feel like it wasn't long enough. Every time I leave there, I feel like it wasn't long enough. Whatever, anyways, let's move on. Life goes on. We live, learn, and at least this time it definitely won't be 5 years before I visit again. We're not making that mistake again, having our vacations dictated by people who just see you as numbers, which is the majority of people. We're going to figure something out. 7-Elevens here are better than Hong Kong, but not better than Thailand, and obviously not better than Japan. We have the no sugar purple Gatorade. It's nowhere near the level of that blue one. That changed my life. But whatever, it's gonna have to do for now. That's just what we're going to keep. Oh, there's this nice, interesting alleyway here that we could walk up with all the graffiti. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look and see what we find over here. How about that? A nice back alley here in the middle of wherever we are. And there's some interesting graffiti going on. Anyway, we'll keep moving. The building is definitely a lot taller once you get close to it and you realize just how tall it is compared to the others. Right, it's a tall building. Maybe just the other ones are all short, but definitely looks tall. I believe we are now maybe in Chinatown because there's a lot of Mandarin being spoken and there's a lot more street food and Asian or traditionally Asian looking people based on my... Yeah, that's racist, no matter how I twist it, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyway, this is where we are. One of those straw bags said 70% off, and it was still 28 ringgits, which comes out to maybe like $8, $9, maybe $10. Definitely not worth it. Seems to be a rustic, historic corridor of some sort. Seems to be a lot of people gathering around here. I don't understand what the big deal is. There might be something I'm missing, but it didn't look like anything. When we get back, we're going to look up what that is, but it doesn't look like it's anything. We will now walk through this questionable alley here to head to the Chinatown strip, or what I think is the market. So we're going to head there. Should be just across here on the right. And we're going to look at the same generic things we've been looking at this entire trip. There it is. That's the Jalin Petling Street Market, I guess, or something.
If you like, you buy, please. my friend.
No, thank you.
Walking through the market right now, and it's really the same bullshit no matter what country you go to. It's the same crap, and half of this is even cheaper back home. Makes no sense, and it's all fake. Yep, all trash, all complete trash. Absolutely nothing of value there. All complete trash. As expected, that was all crap. Anyways, we'll cross over this bridge here and go to the other side, and we'll see what gives. The next area we will be heading to is called Central Market, and apparently that's another well-known, famous market. But I'm quite certain, once more, I'm just going to find the same generic stuff being sold as we see everywhere else. Everybody always says you got to go to the markets. I'm going to the markets. Can't say I'm not going. I'm going to the markets. I'm showing you exactly what I'm seeing right here at what looks like the Central Market. So we're gonna take a walk now, and we'll see if this one has even one thing different to offer. But here it looks like there's a lot of food stalls. If I wasn't so full right now from that meal that I had earlier, I might just indulge in something if it's not at a completely insane price. But we'll walk around, we'll take a look. We'll have the camera roll. Just as a note, that one scoop of ice cream was about 4 Canadian. It was 12 ringgits. That's a bit crazy. Honestly, this thing is the coolest thing about the Central Market. Supposed to be a bug, a terrapin maybe or something. Let's check out this other one that's right here. It's called the Sunda pangolin. I don't know what 2 of those 3 words mean, but that's what this is. Needless to say, there's nothing really going on here, but I actually like it better that way because I didn't have to squeeze through people just to get around. Alright, it looks like I have it wrong. This building is the Central Market. You need to go inside. So it looks like I might have it wrong. It's in this building. So we're gonna go to the end of one of them, and we'll start and we'll do the entire thing. That's what we'll do. You know what, we're gonna go back to where we started, and we're going to enter from that side. It's called the Malayan peacock. A peacock from Malaysia, maybe? I guess. And this is the Central Market. Alright, let's go in and figure out what's happening in there, and we'll take it from there. These things all freak me out. All these things. Imagine you wake up in the morning, you have like this goat, and there's LEDs in the eyes or something. I don't know. I need to stop saying that. I don't know why I keep thinking of things like that. But yeah, even these faces, they just... I assume everything has to be super overpriced because a lot of these people look like they don't sell anything. So if they sell maybe only... So if they sell maybe only like 3-4 a day, maybe then they close shop. Yeah, that guy was really excited about the camera. But he wasn't selling anything, or else I was gonna throw him in, but there's nothing really to shout out there. Anyways, let's try and find stairs here to go upstairs, see what we find. Hopefully there's no store selling live insects or something of that sort. Which, I don't know why, but I just have a suspicious feeling that there is somewhere around here, considering we're in the Chinatown of Malaysia. Considering the amount of people in here, I mean, I'm whispering and you could probably hear me clearly, but you could hear a pin drop in here. Well, it was the same thing as the other markets. I mean, just maybe slightly different. There was some art stuff. It wasn't the typical clothing and the fake Adidas and the fake Ferrari shirts and the fake Under Armour stuff. I mean, it was like some art and some cups and those sculptures. Anyways, you saw what there was. I'll post a clip, or at least parts of it. I mean, it took me 15 minutes to walk through. I'll see if I could hit another market, but everybody says you have to visit the markets. You have to buy stuff at the markets. Guys, I could get 99% of that stuff on AliExpress or Wish. And it gets shipped to my house across the world from here. So even though it's made here, the price is still the same, which is crazy to me. Some of those t-shirts, 15 to 30 to 40 Canadian. Those fake Adidas joggers were 35 Canadian. They were like 105 or something ringgits. Completely crazy. And that guy wasn't willing to negotiate. I told him 40 just as a joke. I still wasn't buying it. And he says absolutely not. It's funny, by the way, how they don't seem to understand English, but as soon as you mention a price or a number, suddenly they speak fluent English. Isn't that crazy? You try to negotiate, suddenly they could communicate very well. Just noticed the artwork on the buildings. I mean, that one's under construction, but you can see the artwork on the other buildings. Trying to figure out if that's natural spring water that's coming out hot like that. However, all of these signs that are placed everywhere do everything but mention that. So I'm going around reading them all, but still picking up no info. This sign is just completely faded. Can't even read it. I guess we'll just keep walking. Might not be that significant then if they're not maintaining it. By the way, look at the mural on the wall. We are now approaching the Petronas Towers, the world famous Petronas Towers that has that famous cantilever. Once I get to a better angle, I'm going to show you the cantilever and you'll know exactly the building that I'm talking about that you've definitely seen elsewhere. And I don't even know if cantilever is the correct architectural term for it, but that's just the word I'm going to be using. Can we cross here? We're just going to walk here on their property. Here is the building up close. And the surrounding buildings. And there's also another cantilever on this building that seems to have greenery coming out of multiple units draping it. Let's get closer. Also right now it's pouring very hard. However, I don't mind it because I was already soaked with forehead sweat. Therefore, a little bit of rain isn't too bad. It is starting to get a bit dark here. Looks to be closed today and tomorrow. I don't know if Easter has anything to do with it. I don't even think they celebrate Easter. There's a lizard on the wall. Lizard's good news. It means that there's none of the other things. Here's another lizard. You know, let's stop looking up just to make sure that we don't see what we don't want to see. Let's see if we could back up here enough to show you what the shot looks like. It is pouring extremely hard. Let's see if I could show you, and you'll know exactly what building I'm talking about without having to Google it. But you'll know exactly what I mean. This building with that cantilever. You've seen this on postcards. You've seen it all over. Apparently there's a light show somewhere. I just don't know where. Is it the front, the back? Can we go through this building or not? There's a bunch of people here. I don't know what's going on. It's pouring really hard. Let's get under and we'll take it from there. This is inside Towers, just the main hall, and we see the F1 car on the wall. As most of you might know, Petronas is a title sponsor of the Mercedes team. Hence why it has the name Petronas AMG or something of the sort. But here's the F1 car. It's looking to me like it's just a shopping mall. A luxury shopping mall. Looks like a whole lot of nothing to me. Just another Gucci store, Louis Vuitton, Saint Laurent, Tom Ford, whatever brands, things that I would never buy. Once more, just the same stuff. Let's figure out how to get to the back of this building here. Apparently there's supposed to be a light show here in maybe 10 minutes or so. I think it's here. This is where people are gathering. Guess we're going to find out. I think it's starting. I don't know. Maybe this is the show. Who knows? At this point, anything is possible. Hong Kong lowered the standard to such an extent that I'm not expecting anything at all from any of these light shows. So apparently it just does this for about 30 minutes. It's a bit underwhelming. I didn't think it could get worse than the Hong Kong light show, but it can. Wow. Let's just get out of here. I don't know what's going on. Let's just move out of here. There's definitely something to the appeal that I'm not understanding. Seeing that stationary F1 car up on a wall was cooler than that incredibly underwhelming light show. Anyway, let's move out of here. Let's just move out and maybe call it a day. Seeing the towers lit up like that is still more interesting than that lackluster light show or water show, whichever one it failed at. Good morning, guys. Today we will be heading to the BATU caves to see what that is all about. There are monkeys everywhere here. Let's hold on to this camera tight before they snatch something. Look at these guys, they're on the prowl. They just want to take everything. As you could see, I took off my hat, took off my glasses. I'm wearing contacts because I've heard stories of people who had their prescription lenses and sunglasses taken from the monkeys. That's not going to happen to us. Also, to get here was a pain in the ass because it seems that nobody at the train station understands how it works, how things work. Nobody seems to know their east, west, north, south. Nobody has changed. That's another thing too, is that the machines only accept the 5 ringgits or less, which comes out to less than $2. Nobody seems to accept big bills. These monkeys are just everywhere. It's crazy. It's like they run the place. Interesting how the guy selling the bananas doesn't get his bananas stolen, but yet other people holding their bananas are getting their bananas stolen. I don't know if they have some sort of pact or some agreement going on. I don't know what they negotiated, that guy, the banana stall guy and the monkeys, but it seems to be working. Also heard this place has a very vast ecosystem, which may include the one creatures that we're trying to avoid. Those ones here in particular are very large and have hair, and we're trying to avoid those, so we'll see how that happens. More monkeys. Look at the amount of birds on this one tree. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. Something tells me out of all the temples I've been in, it's going to be this one that's going to give me athlete's foot. Therefore, we'll just not take off our shoes for that one. And here we are at the famous staircase. We're gonna take a walk up. Lots of birds everywhere. Lots of shoes. Birds, shoes. Before was the monkeys. The amount of people getting pooped on here must be quite large. Yeah, I'm definitely getting pooped on. Let's get a closer look and see how these are painted. If they're stained or brushed or what's going on over here. Let's take a closer look. It looks like it's painted by brush. I mean, there's quite a bit of erosion. Anyways, we're gonna take a walk up. Not that high, I'd say maybe 300 steps. Say approximately 300 steps. We'll take a walk up. We'll see if we decide to go in the cave or not, depending on the amount of greenery up there. Anyways, let's just go up. Let's just see what happens. And we begin. I'd say we are a little bit more than halfway up. It's really not that bad. Stairs are a bit narrow, but it's not that bad. Monkey hanging out right here on the stairs. And we are almost done. We are maybe 3-4 flights away. Needless to say, this is a tall cave. Whether we decide to go in or not is a whole different story. Thing is in a cave you want to look up, but at the same time in these areas you don't want to look up. So maybe we'll point the camera and I'll just walk. We'll see what we find. As long as it's not one specific thing, we're good. We'll keep walking. I'm now starting to sweat. The humidity is definitely trapped in here. I'm also wearing long pants, as that seemed to have been the attire. However, many people made it without. This mountain is a temple, which I will not be entering, but you walk in there and it's the temple in the caves. And I believe there's another one up ahead on that hill or above these steps. We'll continue on. Right now, we're only past the first section, I guess. I'm narrating this horribly because I'm looking around. There's some chickens there in a cage. Not sure why they're caged, but anyway, we'll go up this wet set of steps and we'll take it from there. Here we are in the middle of the mountain, or I guess the cave, or whatever you want to call it. We went through the cave to get here, and now, it's open to the ceiling. Whatever the geographical term for this is. There's a chicken or a rooster. I don't even know what that is. I think it's a rooster. Anyways, just walking freely. And we'll see what else there is here, but it looks like this is the end. So after walking all that, there is a large donation box. Interesting. I think that's it. I think we could probably head back down. This is cool. But I think we're good here. Oh, is this the entrance to another temple? Or, oh no, it's just a prayer area. Anyway, I'm getting rained on by the wet trees above, plus I'm sweating. Therefore, I think we'll make our departure from here, but at a slower pace. Because right now, my head is soaked from this water falling on me. Going down these steps is surprisingly more difficult than going up because of how narrow they are. See, when I talk about like the boys and I, we need to go looting caves and finding treasures and trinkets and all of that, I'm talking about caves like this. Imagine, you're just leave for 10 days with the boys to just, go in dungeons. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Grab the loot, you grab the treasure, you kill the bosses, and then you head out, and then after that you go back home where you have to hunt and make sure that you're maintaining the political system. Now instead we're just on Excel and we're just hanging out at home on Excel, pressing buttons on computers. Anyways, I don't have to explain myself, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm just fumbling my words because I'm dripping with sweat and with cave water. You understand where I'm going with that. Like, what are we doing nowadays? What are we doing? I didn't even know if that was a chicken or a rooster. You know what I mean? Like, we're in bad times here. It's rough out here. Yeah, let's get out of these caves. Yeah, some people are barefoot here. Couldn't be me. Absolutely cannot be me. How interesting is that? If we look carefully around like the belt, there's a tree that's growing out of the belt or whatever that is. Let's see if we could get a zoom in on that. But yeah, there's a tree that is growing out of there. I guess they don't really clean it that often, or they leave it to the birds to clean as they're doing right now. My forehead is a waterfall of sweat and cave sweat. Such is the way it is. We're probably just gonna head back to the accommodation, clean up, and then head back out. Probably waiting for me to give you some piece of history or some piece of info, but yeah, this is the wrong video for that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do what I always do. Show things sometimes and just give usually the wrong content. Usually some misinformation, but that's just part of the experience here. Life hack when traveling in these hot outdoor touristic things is look for the nearest souvenir shop and do what I just did and hog up the fan for a few minutes, go stand in front of it, and now I'm perfectly fine. I might still be full of sweat, but I'm definitely not hot. So we will now head back to the train station, and for real this time we'll go to the accommodation. Stand under that tree if you want to be pooped on. If not, don't stand under it. That one guy just doesn't care. I mean, I guess he doesn't mind being pooped on. Good for him. It's a good mentality to have. All right, let's cut the clip. Just cut the clip. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do Indian food 2 days in a row. Let's do it. You have some room for one? Okay. Thank you. This time it looks like we ordered the lamb shank biryani, if I said it correctly. And here it is. Thank you, sir. Solid. Looks good. Once again, massive portion that I will likely not finish. Just made it back to the hotel room, had the lamb biryani. Yesterday was the chicken. I got the lamb because I saw that everybody was getting the lamb, and it comes out to like 5 Canadian more, but it seemed to have been really popular. I definitely like the chicken a lot more. I mean, I just didn't like the lamb. I have to like search for the meat. Apparently it's the lamb shank. The guy was explaining to me whatever that means, maybe the leg or something. Yeah, not a fan of that, but the rest of it was really good. Got back from BATU caves. Important note when you go over there, even though it says that you can't wear shorts, a lot of people were wearing shorts out of the joggers just to be sure, but bring a towel with you because you will sweat for sure going up those steps. The humidity, even in the cave, the humidity is crazy. I thought it would have been drier in the cave, but I was wrong. Also, water in the cave is dripping from the top. There's water dripping from the cave onto your head everywhere. It's unavoidable, so I was getting soaked. And the train to get there and back only runs once every 35 to 40 minutes, so you could time it yourself that when you get there, you basically say, you know, I have an hour and 40 minutes until the next train, and then you make it back, and for me it worked out. You don't have to pay. There's gonna be people who will pretend that you have to pay them to go up the steps. You don't have to pay. Anybody could walk right up the steps. So be careful of those scammers. Those are the first scammers that I've seen here in Malaysia, unlike in Thailand where they're literally everywhere. The free tuk-tuks and all that. By the way, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that this building, the Merdurka, I think it's called. Merdurka 1988 or 1888 or 1480, I don't know. Whatever they call it. I believe that's the second tallest building in the world after the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, and I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they tell me. It is very tall. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's very, very tall, and apparently the inside is not even done. Apparently it's been built for 4 or 5 years now, and I got word that a lot of it is still not even done. It's completely empty. Something else too I want to mention about the hotel room, as this is a less than 1-star hotel room, is that every surface is like sticky. It's very, very weird. This is definitely a nasty room. Let's open the TV and see if there's women's beach volleyball. You know, I never thought about watching women's beach volleyball until I watched it, and I said, I know quite a few people who would enjoy this. Well, this is the view from the hotel room. As you saw earlier, when I look outside the hotel, you could even see the world's second tallest building, allegedly. That may or may not be misinformation, but let's not verify that. Let's just keep going with what I was told. And it seems within 20 to 30 seconds that this rain is pouring down so hard, and I don't know if the camera's catching this right now, but there are floods in the street, and this happened within under a minute, and the street is completely empty. Remember before when I showed the camera with all the people, and now we're looking and people just abandoned the chairs, the tables, they just abandoned it all and they all ran in. I don't know if this is the norm, and I assume it is, but I was also told that there's only wet and dry season here, and it's not necessarily rain season or sun season. It goes by wet and dry, by humid and dry, and it looks like this is probably going to be a really humid day or humid aftermath. You see, now it's already starting to clear up. We look in the distance, the clouds clear up, and we could now see the world's second tallest building. However, I was able to acquire the ice cream. I got a cotton candy drumstick at the 7-Eleven. I was also able to get this blue Gatorade. Let me just show you guys here. Now, I will say it is not like the mythical Thailand blue Gatorade. That one legitimately changed my life for the better. I'm likely never going to receive that same dopamine hit ever again. Nonetheless, this blue no sugar, I didn't even know that, but no sugar one is somewhere up there. I'd say it's maybe an 8, while the other blue Gatorade was probably a 9.5. Back on topic, this is our time in Malaysia. We were only here 2 nights. I basically saw everything I wanted to see. There wasn't really much more to it. I mean, it's a very interesting city in regards to walkability. You definitely can't walk the city just because you can't cross streets properly. There's no real intersections. They're building these bridges a bit everywhere, and that's something that I'm noticing. It's the bridges that you go up, cross the street, and come down. However, oftentimes the bridges are too far, or it goes into another building, and then to get out of that building, the signage is not well, because something that I noticed in Malaysia is that they put the signage on posts, but these are just freestanding posts, so people often walk by and they just push them to the side or whatever. I've even seen some just lean against the wall. So when it says left is one way and right is, you know, line 1 or line 4, you really don't know, because the sign is now against the wall that has walls on both sides, or it's pushed to a corner. So just a few things about Malaysia. We'll see if we come back. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Wrap up the video. I mean, I might throw in a few more clips. We'll see what we have left. We're finally getting out of here. Tomorrow we will be heading to Singapore, not far away, and we'll take it from there. Thank you guys for watching another video.